The Ocala Golf Club, one of Ocala's premier golf courses, from its pristine 18-hole course layout to its amazing pro shop. Jason Linhart and the staff at Ocala Golf offer everything that you need for your golf outing. That's the Ocala Golf Club. Experience country club style golf at municipal prices. You won't go wrong with the Ocala Golf Club. Call them for a tee time today, 352-401-6917.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now, here's your host, Tom.
Welcome back to Ocala Talks. We got a subject now that I've talked about numerous times on this show, and it's the stigma surrounding mental health. If you have a heart attack, people say go to a heart doctor. You have a lung issue, respiratory issue, they say go to a lung, ear, nose, throat, lung doctor. You got an issue, you break your leg, they fix it. But if you break your mind, people go, ooh, I don't know, he's a little wacko. And that's a stigma that's unfair to people in the civilian world. It's also unfair to people in the military world. But when you're dealing with somebody who's a civilian and in the military world, you got them coming from both sides. Colonel Melissa Mitrovich joins us now. Colonel, good morning to you.
Good morning, Tom.
You know, I talk about this issue all the time because I am a person I am medicated on a daily basis with mental health issues because my mom was quick to tell me it was not something that was a bad thing. It was just like any other organ in your body. If you got problems with it, you go to the doctor and get help with it. But a lot of people don't think that way. And I'm a civilian. But if I was a civilian and a military personnel and getting it from both sides, this mental health issue would really be mind-boggling to me. Is it really tough for people to juggle that as they're in the reserves and civilian life?
Well, Tom, there's a stigma, and a stigma is a mark of disgrace or shame associated with a specific event. And here we're talking about receiving behavioral health services. So an old saying in the Army is that many of us heard early on in our career and at all levels was suck it up and drive on, regardless of whether the issue was physical or mental. That's just not the case in today's Army.
And with a 20-year war we're just coming out of that the reserve, or we're trying to come out of, that the reserves have played a major role in, there's had to have been an uptick in mental health issues with the reserves.
Well, there's many reasons that, soldiers are afraid to get help with that. They're hesitant, possibly afraid, ashamed to seek help or report problems through official channels in such a way that their leaders, peers, or subordinates would be made aware of. Many common perceptions are seeking help would harm their career, leaders would treat them differently or view them as weak. Leaders, peers, or subordinates would have a lack of confidence in them, and then many are afraid that their treatment would not be kept confidential. And then the worst perception would be that, soldiers are afraid that they may lose their security clearance or being booted out of the Army. So here at the Army Reserve Psychological Health Program we're working to break down those barriers and stigma of receiving mental health.
How hard is it for some people that have these kind of mental health issues? How difficult, and do you see it on a regular basis, that juggling the civilian life with the reservist life, the military attitude of I got to keep going, I got to persevere, I got to push on, and then the civilian life of dealing with your spouse and your children and how those interworkings go together? Are there specific challenges to that most people don't face in life?
Well, the Army Reserve is a community-based force of nearly 190,000 soldiers, 11,000 civilians, with a footprint that encompasses 2,000 units across all 50 states and 5 U.S. territories, and deployed to more than 23 countries in the world. This means that Army Reserve soldiers experience unique combinations of stressors, as you mentioned, including holding a civilian job, school, family, work, all while serving as the Army Reserve soldier. It's why it's important that the Army Reserve have a specific program available to soldiers and their families that understands the balancing of all those responsibilities.
As an Army Reservist, I've had a couple of friends that were Army Reservists. I have an ex-wife who's an Army Reservist. And as specific to them, I know sometimes it's hard for you to go get your buddy that you see one weekend a month or you see 2 weeks a year. You stay in contact, but maybe, that you confide in that buddy some, but it's kind of hard to confide in them about mental health issues. Is that one of the reasons why this program was started, the psychological health program was started, to give reservists a shoulder and an ear that will listen, and maybe they can cry on, and metaphorically, I know they're not crying, but give them someone that can listen to their unique issues and give them some tools on how to deal with these stressors?
Well, often those in the military may try and handle those problems on their own, and that's where our program can serve a crucial role. Our program assists individuals in achieving optimal behavioral health by connecting soldiers and their family members with resources they need. Some of those services available include clinical assessment and referrals for mental health, employment, housing, finance.
So it runs the gamut then of things that you're offering people.
Yes, it does.
Let's talk, because the Army Reservists, the world's ever changing, and the Army Reserves are changing too. How long has this been something that the Army has recognized there's a need for, and how long have they been addressing this instead of just saying, suck it up and pull up your bootstraps? Now mental health issues are being addressed. How long has that been an active program for the Army?
Well, our program has been in existence since 2013.
Wow, very good. 8 years. 8 years. What are some of the? What is it? Do you find that it's more male-based, more female-based, or is it across both genders? Because the stressors of life don't care about gender.
Stressors of life do not care about gender, so we treat, again, young soldiers, old soldiers, family members. It really doesn't matter. The whole goal is people need to know that it's okay to receive mental health services.
Do you find that the younger reservists are a little more susceptible to coming and asking for help, as opposed to the older reservists that maybe the stigma's always been there that you're weak-minded if you think you got mental issues and all? Are you seeing the younger people come to you more readily, or are the older people now understanding, hey, this is something I could use as a tool in my toolbox to help me better myself?
And that's exactly our goal at the Army Reserve Psychological Health Program, is to ensure soldiers achieve and sustain being the most resilient and mentally fit force in the nation. And we do this by providing trained, ready, and proficient psychological health professionals who are passionate about delivering world-class behavioral health services to Army Reserve soldiers.
We're talking with Colonel Melissa Mitrovich. I hope I said that right. I'm trying.
It's good. We're good.
I'm trying my best. I'm from South Georgia, so I can barely speak English. So we're talking with Colonel Melissa Mitrovich. Colonel, if somebody listening to this is in the civilian world today, sitting at their desk, listening to this on the internet, or they're driving in their car, but they are a reservist on the weekends and they are committed Army reservists, where can they go find out more information where they can get help?
Well, anybody, whether you're an Army Reserve or civilian or family member, you can visit us at www.usar.army.mil. Again, that's www.usar.army.mil. It's time that it's well past time that we stop with the stigma of mental health. Your brain is just like your heart, just like your liver, just like your lungs. Without it being healthy, it could cause serious issues with your health and well-being. And the fact that you guys at the United States, the Psychological Health Program for the United States Army Reserves are addressing this is so great. Thank you, Colonel, for joining us this morning. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate you having me here today.
That's Colonel Melissa Mitrovich. She is the Director of Psychological Health Programs for the United States Army. We're going to take a short time out. Excuse me. We'll be right back after this. You're listening to 1370 AM, 96.3 FM. This is WOCA, The Source.
Guess what? Because of the cool spring, you still have time to get your azaleas into the ground. Hurry on over to Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens for great deals on whatever azaleas you choose, starting with the dwarf ever-blooming red ruffles, still just $4.99. Crepe myrtles? Well, Bob's got 'em. Take your pick from white or pink. In the smaller size, just $6.99. All larger crepe myrtles are delivered, planted, and guaranteed for one low price. And don't forget Bob's gigantic selection of butterfly and hummingbird plants. Take your pick, prices starting at $7.99. And as usual, shade trees starting at just $49.99. You get another one just like it for half price. Come on out, it's a fun place to visit. Walk around and enjoy this garden spot with or without a mask. Bob Wine's Camellia Gardens, Southeast 38th Street in Ocala, daily till 4:30, Saturdays till 3:30, in the same blooming place since 1952.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. A few of our tractor services include bush hogging, disking, and rototilling. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are family-owned and operated, licensed and insured, and farm-ready. Powell Gene, Gene, at yahoo.com, 352-629-2440. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440. Gene is a proud United States veteran.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need
too.
my seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, and a new spoiler, and a new
Yep,
trunk.
we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care